Good evening, everybody. I think it's about time we get started here. Welcome to another stream by your friends at Abbey Games. I am Rick, a developer here at the Abbey, and I am here with my loyal counterpart, Yoni, who is in the chat over on Twitch, Steam, or YouTube to take your questions and comments while we stream The Will of the People. The very first... Oh, sound is off. Sound is off?
No, it's not off.
Can you hear me? I hope they can hear me. Sounds fine. Alright. You should turn your volume on, Wanwanyashi. Yeah, because we are streaming a celebration stream for the launch of our very first major update. You can see it here on the screen. The Will of the People update. We've been hard at work in the past 4 weeks, building a bunch of new mechanics and a whole bunch of new content based on feedback that we have received from you, the fans, over on our own community forums, over on the Steam forums, etc. And we've taken all that stuff, adapted our already existing plans, and went ahead and built the Will of the People update in the 4 weeks since then. Now, if you're paying attention, you will also see, first off, that our new main menu is nice and flashy. Down here, in view of new updates, we have a little sneak peek at our next update, Old One Rising, which will release on September 4th. We're not going to talk too much about that here right now. Today we're here for the Will of the People update. In the future, when you're playing Godhood, on the bottom right you will always see some kind of teaser for the next update that you can click for more information. And down here we will be collecting little icons for all the updates that we've created. So it's nice, and you can always see all the new stuff that's been added. And you can click on each of these little icons to go to a website that explains all the stuff that was added in that update. So if you miss one, don't worry. You can just read all about it over here in our new main menu. If you're in the chat, well, okay, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm just going to be streaming, playing the Will of the People update. Every time that I run into some kind of new mechanic or piece of content, I'll get into it and explain it, and maybe tell you something about its development. If you're in the chat, definitely ask any questions that you have, any comments that you have. Maybe you've got some really cool ideas for things that you're currently seeing. Definitely let us know. Get in chat. Yoni is in there right now, and he's going to pass along any of your questions or comments to me while I'm streaming here, so we can answer them. Oh, we can answer them here on stream. Let me turn down the game volume slightly. Boop, 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 boop. And then we can get started. Alrighty. I'll start a new game here, I think. As always, I'm gonna ask the chat for suggestions when it comes to creating our god. And if you've played Godhood recently, you'll notice that this thing's new. A couple of new god customization options have been added by Carmen. So if we want it to be, some of which are anticipating the upcoming Deep One Rising update a little bit. Let's see what we can do here. This one's really cool. I like this. Cool skeletal body. We got some new arms, I believe, like these weird fish arms. We should have some new heads. Another fish. Oh, you got here. We could be like a sweet fish now. I've always wanted to be a fish god wearing a cool party hat. What else have we got? Jellyfish. Oh, angry fish. I like that. And the angriest fish of all. Some of you may recognize him from a previous game. It's the Rivaleux head. Yeah. Put a nice hat on him. I kind of dig this, actually. It's a pretty cool looking god. Hey, chat, what are we thinking for our god today? Let's not dilly-dally for too long here. We've got a game to play. Library Lad is saying, play a fish god. I mean, we have all these new fish parts. We probably should play some kind of a fish god. I still don't know what this is. But it looks cool. High art. I'm going to be an angry... I like the jellyfish a lot, is the thing. I think I'm going to be the jellyfish. This is pretty friggin' awesome. I like this. What are cool arms to go with this skeletal jellyfish. I think the sword is just kind of cool. Got some tentacles. This works. I am Sameth asks, do you have a random button? I do. I click it a couple times. Okay, that's something. Wait, where's the skin color? Why is it black? There we go. Yeah, that's a cool ladyfish. I'm into it. Let's give her a nice fish hat. Some fish wings. Okay. Alright, here we have my fish lady. I think she's perfect, is the thing. I'm gonna call her, fish, cod, mackerel. Is that even how you write mackerel? Oh, no, I'm gonna go for the thing we were creating before. Jellyfish head, creepy eyes, no hat, maybe a hat. No hat. And a big sword. This is just a kick-ass looking jellyfish warrior. Undead jellyfish warrior. And if that isn't cool, I don't even know what is. Nice. Carmen is in the chat. She made all these parts and she requested the god will be called Kibbeling, which is a Dutch delicacy from the sea that only the Dutch can pronounce. So maybe we'll go with Kibbeling. Someone was saying turtle hunting to be a theme. Our worshippers are called the turtle hunters. Our religion will be called... what is a jellyfish sounding thing? God of jellyfish. I mean, that's just kind of... The turtle hunters worship Kibbeling, god of jellyfish. We're gonna be a goddess, and I'm gonna say we're a neutral goddess. Let it be known, alright, if I was playing an actual game of Godhood, I would probably give a little bit more thought to this, but hey, we're here to watch the game. What I can take a look at here is our first new feature that we can look at. It is difficulty options. We've got 4 difficulty options here for you to play with. If you start up Godhood right now, you'll be able to play this update because it just launched earlier today. The difficulty options that we have are easy, normal, classic, and impossible. I'm going to play on classic here. If this is the first time that you're playing with difficulty options, I recommend trying out the classic mode. It's basically what we balance the game towards a little bit. But if you feel like you're up for a challenge, I recommend you try out impossible and let us know how it went. And if you just want to take it easy and chill out and explore the game and don't worry about losing really or and such, you can play easy. You know, that's totally fine and up to you. I'm going to go with classic. The thing that the difficulty modes actually change right now is the difficulty of the sacraments that you'll be facing during the game. So they will be scaling the enemy's armor and HP and things like that. Alright, let's get started. Come on, Black Vision, I think you can do impossible. Yes, I am Kibbling, your goddess. As always, we're going to start by picking our commandment, and as a turtle hunting jellyfish goddess, what does chat think we should pick? It's a little better now than the beta Blackfishing. Blackfishing in the chat saying how impossible actually is. Yeah, it can be quite impossible, but it should be a little bit better now. Big sword is war, says Library Lad, and I think I agree. Each of the commandments have some new content added to them as well. Primarily is each commandment has another building added to them. If I pick war, I'll be unlocking the Colosseum, a special place where I can train my warriors to become even better at melee combat in the next sacrament. Someone is saying it's a sword of peace. Yes, definitely, that big red sword. Peace seems appropriate. I'm gonna pick war. Let's make war a virtue of our religion of turtle hunting. A sacrament was called to determine who is right. Gonna fight the elders here. The peace-loving elders. Damn them. I think I have a feeling how this is gonna go, as usual. Sorry Fabian over in the YouTube chat suggesting we pick peace. I definitely recommend you pick peace in your playthrough of Godhood. Oh no, we got beaten. I never could have seen that coming. Phoenix, who had a great idea for calling the god of updates. Next time, Phoenix. One day we will return. A new religion is founded. Again, if you have any questions about the Will of the People update and any of the new features in it, be sure to hit us up in the chat. I'm going to start off here by inspiring Ezel, my first disciple, to go gather some turtle hunters over at the village center. So we got some new UI here that we're looking at. I'll get to explaining it all when we get to it. For now, let's see how Ezel does. Everybody's hammering away at this tent. Marala play... No. Oh well. That's a little bug I could fix. Collected new turtle hunters and grew their faith in Kibbling. 2 new disciples joined, Marala and Tei. They too wanted to partake in prayers at the Holy Site Center and collect turtle hunters. Alright, let's get started by doing that. Let's inspire both of them. Sadly cannot inspire Tei because there's only 2 disciple slots in the Holy Site Center. But, new for this update, I can actually, not this one, but I can actually upgrade rituals to allow for more slots. Let's collect some turtle hunters and we'll see what happens here. A story appears. A story with a tutorial, in fact. Perfect. Yeah, so basically what's new in the Will of the People, and if you saw the previous stream in which I played the beta of the Will of the People, you'll be familiar with this new idea, or if you played the game at all today. Every time that you receive resources now, instead of them just being added to your big pile of resources to spend, they are placed in your tributes, which is a new resource mechanic. The thing about tribute is you will earn your tribute back, or you will sort of sanctify your tribute, as we call it, in victory in the sacrament. So if you go into a battle and win, you will actually gain all the resources that you collected in the city. If you lose the sacrament, however, you will only gain, I believe it's 75% of what was gathered. Here it says 50. I believe it actually should be 75. You will also collect your opponent's tribute, so even more bonuses if you win. The tribute shall be sanctified in a sacramental victory. the other new mechanic that is really important to Tribute is enthusiasm. And let me take a look at that. Let me just show it off here. Over on the bottom right of the screen here, let me move my head up. Over on the bottom right of the screen here, we can see our worshippers' enthusiasm about our religion. Currently they're excited to witness our glory in the sacrament, which is really good because it gives us a bonus. If we wait too long, their excitement will fade away and eventually lead to impatience or even skepticism. And that can be really bad because these bad story events start happening that have a bad effect on our religion. What this means is there's sort of like a natural ebb and flow now between me collecting my resources here in the holy site, filling up my tribute, and then going out to the sacraments to sanctify my resources, actually get them back so I can spend them, and in the meantime also making sure that my keeping track of my worshippers' enthusiasm to make sure that it doesn't get too low. Because the main way to increase your enthusiasm is by being in a sacrament. Let's see. So I could, right now I have 14 out of the 30 turtle hunters in my tribute. There's a max of 30. I can upgrade that max so I can collect more. I could take this to the sacrament, and if I win I will gain 14 turtle hunters. Or I could collect turtle hunters for another day and get more to win in the sacrament, with the caveat that there's a chance that my enthusiasm will go down and bad things might happen. I like bad things to happen, so I'm gonna do it. Kibbeling isn't afraid of anything. Ah, there we see. The people are now yearning to witness your glory, but their excitement has peaked. Yearning is like fine. I don't get the bonus in the sacrament that excitement would give me. But if I wait any longer than this, and I know this because I've played the game a bunch, if I wait any longer than this, I'm going to be in real trouble because people are going to start getting impatient for the sacrament. So let's get going, shall we? The world map has also gone through some changes related to the tribute. As you can see, when I hover over a challenge here, I can tell what my tribute is and what the enemy's tribute is. They are putting in 20 materials. I am putting in 24 worshippers. If I win, I'll gain both. If I lose, they take 25% of my worshippers and I don't gain any of their tribute that they put in. Someone in the chat is asking if we can increase the number of disciples that you can inspire, because right now, as you can see down here, over at our inspire number, it says 2 out of 3. You can have 3 disciples inspired at any one time to perform jobs around the sacrament. If you level up, you can indeed increase that number now in the current update. We're still thinking about doing stuff where disciples that you didn't inspire will still perform little jobs around the holy site, depending on their faith, but that isn't implemented just yet, but we think it would be really cool. For now, know that you can increase that limit. Back to the sacrament, I'm gonna jump in. Little balance note here, all the commandment buffs have been tuned to be a little bit more balanced. War is a little bit less overpowered. It's still quite good. We didn't get like a big balancing patch in just yet, but it should all be a little bit better. I'm gonna start the mission and send my disciples in to face these unguided folks. Merciless strike. Wow, critical hit, good job. So the new buff for war is that any time that any of my disciples perform a physical attack, they have a 50% chance of increasing their damage a little bit. Nice. Well, that was no issue at all. Dominated. Morali and Tei are halfway to level up, so they can get their Acolyte class. And as you can see, I have earned my Turtle Hunters and gone level up. And my materials. Alright, let's go level up. So that entire UI is new as well. Level 2. Some exciting things here. First of all, if you've played Godhood so far, you can tell that there's a lot more god levels for you to increase. That is because there is a lot more content for you to unlock as well. As you can tell in our little banner here, there's a whole bunch of new buildings in the game to unlock, and a whole bunch of other stuff as well, such as, like I mentioned before, the ability to inspire more disciples. I've unlocked 2 new buildings here. Let's see what I can do with those. Hey, speaking of which, here's a tutorial. Your disciples have brought back materials from the enemy's tributes. These materials can be used to construct and upgrade buildings and temples in the holy temple sites. I can use the build god power at any time to construct new buildings. So unlike the previous build, the launch version of Godhood, in that I would level up and I would basically unlock the ability to place a building. I would make my pick, and that would be it. Now, at any time, I can basically go into this building menu and pick what I would like to construct. And it's going to cost me materials, which is a new resource, to construct them. So I could now make the material gatherer, which is a free building, so I might as well. And the garden, which costs 10 materials, is a place for my my disciples to heal their HP. So that's one of the first new buildings in the game. I want to put the material gatherer over here, and I have 20 materials, so I might as well put down the garden. None of my Tei could heal a little bit, but I think it's okay. Because that is actually new from the previous update, is that your disciples' HP bar doesn't heal automatically very fast. It heals quite slow, in fact. But you can send them to the garden here to heal their HP. One of the main sort of themes for this update is to increase the amount of decisions that you're making, and sort of the tactical challenge of Godhood, and all these new systems that we're introducing here were primarily introduced to make sure that we can hopefully take a big swing at that goal. Alright, what are we doing here? So I can inspire my 3rd disciple to go heal, or to gather some materials. I think I'm going to do that. I would like to upgrade some of these buildings. Upgrades also cost materials, so it's sort of up to you whether to spend your materials on expanding your little holy site or upgrading your existing buildings. And my people are still satisfied, so I'm gonna keep going. Maybe when they're excited I'll think about going out. Nice Marala. Let's keep going here. I want to go level up. Let's see, I need 35 worshippers to level up. Just 1 more than what I have now, so I'm actually gonna tell Izel here to go gather materials instead. Because I think I'm good on worshippers for now. Look at them carrying stuff around. 13. I'm just gonna do this one more day, I think. What's new in this update as well is that any repeatable rituals, so for example gathering resources, your disciples will automatically keep doing that thing until you actively tell them not to, unlike the previous version in which you had to tell every disciple what to do each day. This was a great piece of feedback that we got from the community, and we thought it was a good idea. Aha! My people have gotten excited to witness my glory in the sacrament. So I could go out now in order to get this big bonus, plus 50% awe points, which is the sort of big HP bar in the sacrament. So that would give me a lot more HP and would make it easier for me to win challenges. Maybe I'll do that. Let's go do that. Can't go here yet until I'm level up. Also, it's way too difficult. So I'm gonna travel over here to the southern jungles. And this is another really interesting little thing. If you can see, it's a little text below their tribute. It says, this tribute matches 100% materials. So what that means is, any materials that I bring to the sacrament, so I brought 23, the enemy tribe is going to match it. So the more materials I bring, the more materials they'll bring, and the more materials that I can earn if I win that battle. So I could consider just going back here and collecting materials for another day, just to get that big boost in materials, and I think I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. I want all those materials. Give me the mats. My people have become yearning again. Oh, nice. My next disciples, acolytes of jellyfish. There we go. Now we've got 32 materials in our tribute, and as you can see, if we were to win this battle now, we would also earn 32 materials. Nick Main on YouTube asks, does the arrangements of the buildings matter? Right now they do not. It is purely sort of visual. How do you feel like your little holy site should look? Where do you want to put your temples? We do have ideas for like stuff like that, but it'll most likely be fairly minimalistic. If we do something like it, we'll have to see. We haven't decided, made a definite decision on it yet. I'm gonna summon some initiates. I've got another, oh god, who is this guy with the purple fro? I think I need to initiate them. Is it Nox? This rare disciple? It's not, sadly. Nox looks fine. Bull Totem, that's good. It's Sacco with the pink fro. Sacco. I love you. Hair Totem. So if this is your first time watching Godhood, I am currently initiating new acolytes into my religion. And as you can see, Nox has a rare totem, which means that they are just gonna be more powerful as they level up than these other disciples. But it also costs more worshipper support to take them into my religion. It takes 7. I only have space for 4 right now, sadly, so... I would have to knock out someone. Can't do that just yet. So, I think I'm gonna either Sacco or Ehekatl. Let me take a look at them. Ehekatl has a knack for darkness, which is good. It means that he plays well with other disciples who have a dark class. And it just so happens that Izel is an executioner, a war class, who is dark. So Ehekatl would actually be able to team up with Izel quite effectively. So I think I'm going to initiate Ehekatl here. He also looks kind of cool. Looks like some kind of warrior monk looking dude. I like it. Yeah, I think I filled up my tribute about as far as I'm going to get it, so I'm going to get out there and take these guys on. If I win, I'll earn a total of 64 materials. Pretty rad. So let's go do that. I'm gonna bring my 2 acolytes that I had at the start. That way they can both level up. And I'll bring Itzel as well, my big heavy hitter. Actually what I'll do is, while I'm performing the sacrament, I'll put Ehekatl to work. It seems smart, so... Ehekatl, you go gather materials, while the rest goes off to prove my glory. Alright, let's start the mission. It's a lot of materials to be won. If you are in the Steam chat, Yoni's having some trouble getting on there, but I'll open it up here. So if you have any questions, you can just ask him in there. In fact, feel free to do so. We would love to answer your questions. If you're in the Twitch or YouTube chat, also just go ahead and throw out cool ideas, questions you have about the stuff that we're talking about here, and we'll get to them for sure. Haha, Marala and Tei leveled up. Means I can unlock their class. Marala has the dog totem, which increases their talent for a might. Meaning that a rage prophet, a class that is very much about having a lot of might and doing big hits with that big axe of theirs, could be really good for them. So I'm gonna pick the rage prophet for Marala. Tei has the rat totem. Good at health and cunning. I might make them a beast walker, who is really good with cunning. Maybe I'll go with beast walker. The health actually is pretty good because the beast walker is fairly weak when it comes to their HP, so having more health would be good for them. Let's pick the beast walker. Alright, there we go. Oh, we went level up quite a bit there, huh? Prime Library Lad asks, don't you have a limit on materials so you can't win that much? So there is a limit on your tribute, so the amount of tribute that you can take with you to the sacrament is limited, but because the enemy matches, this particular enemy matches my materials 100%, they will bring, if I bring 30 materials, they will also bring 30 materials. That means that I can actually earn double of whatever I've gathered. So as you can see here, I gathered 32 materials, and because they also brought 32, I have collected a total of 64, which is pretty great. I've gone level up, I think, twice. I might have to balance that a little bit, but you know, it's kind of cool. I've unlocked the offering stockpile, where my my little turtle hunters can gather ritual offerings. And with level 4, I've unlocked the study. The study is another new building out of the, I think, 13 or 14 new buildings that we've added to the game. The study is a place where you can send your disciples to actually gain XP. So if you send them to the sacrament, they will gain a bunch of XP, as you could see. But you do put them at risk because they can take damage and such. So having them study a little bit while here in the holy site can actually be pretty smart, because it means that you don't put them in danger and you do gain the ability to level them up a little bit. We have 2 disciples ready to perform miracles. If you've played Godhood before, you'll know that miracles are the primary way for your disciples to level up. Marala and Tei cannot earn more XP, more miracle XP, until they perform a miracle. So I have unlocked a bunch of miracle buildings dependent on the commandment that I chose at the start of the game. These are the ones for war. I can build these in order for them to perform a miracle there, increase their stats, and also level up. Let's see here. And we got the study as well. I've got 74 materials. It costs 40 to build one of these miracle buildings. The study's 20, so... And the offering stockpile is 10. So I could build the offering stockpile, 1 miracle, and the study. I think that's got to be my plan. Let's see, what do you think, chat? Which miracle would fit our jellyfish religion best? The herder's hut, the prayer site, the tavern, hunter's lodge, or the farmlands? I'm thinking the hunter's lodge seems pretty cool. Considering that we are turtle hunters, I really should pick the hunter's lodge. Makes the most sense to me. Either way, I'm gonna put in the offering stockpile. put it over here, right by my material gathering. And I'll build the study. And I'll put that over here. A little mini sacrament ground where my disciples can study the sacrament and level up. Tony asks, will you go a bit in depth about generosity and greed later during the stream? Not during this stream, because we're not working on generosity and greed for, you know, the Will of the People updates. However, be sure to keep checking in on Godhood, because on the main menu we have a, let me actually save and show it off real quick in case you just tuned in. We are jelly. We will always show you... Oh, I did the wrong thing. I quit the game. Oops. We started back up. But yeah, in the main menu we will always show you what the next update is that is going to come out and what the features are for that next update. Yoni's laughing over there because of my mess up. So over here, yeah, we can see an update for the Old One Rising, which will be the next update. The Old One Rising will be introducing a new commandment to the game. Not greed or generosity, but madness. We've said as much in the past, but we'll go into more details on it later in a couple of weeks. So definitely keep your eyes out for generosity and greed. We really look forward to building them. But first we're gonna get to madness and all the tentacly goodness that is associated with that. Back to my jellyfish god. Morala's pretty hurt. 22 out of 35 HP, so I could heal them up. But I also want... yeah, I want to construct a miracle building so I can have people perform miracles. Oh hey, I'm not getting any Twitch chat. Let me refresh. I'm gonna put in the Hunter's Lodge, because we are turtle hunters. And also, it looks nice and comfy. Look at that. So now I can inspire a miracle. And I'm gonna inspire Tehi, our Beast Walker, to go perform a miracle at the Hunter's Lodge. Then I have to cancel someone, because I can only have 3 disciples inspired right now. Increase, as you can see, the Hunter's Lodge increases cunning, and it just so happens that the Beast Walker's abilities generally use cunning to deal damage, so more cunning is better. I've used up all my materials, so maybe I can gather some more of those. I also would like to keep leveling up, to keep showing you guys in the chat of the new stuff that's in the game, so I'm gonna collect materials and worshippers. Now maybe a thing to talk about as well is faith. We have completely overhauled the faith system in Godhood. In the previous version of Godhood, faith really didn't play much of a role in the game. Basically, you wouldn't really have to worry about it. But in this new build, faith is essentially on a scale from 0 to 100. It's a bar that's empty or full. And the higher the faith, the better the disciple performs. But faith keeps gradually lowering. So you actually have to keep doing things actively in order to upkeep your disciples' faith. So if you look to Morala over here, who is happy, 73 out of 100. They have the enthusiasm sort of faith buff. Morala is eager to serve jellyfish. All your new acolytes start with that buff, but it will run out slowly. And she got victory times 2 and glorious religion times 4. You gain the victory buff for winning a sacrament and glorious religion for your religion in generally winning sacraments. So because I sent Morala out in the sacraments, their faith is actually pretty good. But if I neglect to send one of my disciples to the sacrament for a while, their faith might actually suffer a little bit. So, and if a disciple's faith gets too low, bad stuff happens. They can even leave your religion now, which is a bad scene. You don't want that to happen. You get so many more worshippers walking around. One more day until Tei completes their miracle, so let's see how they do. Nice. Wondrous miracle. Tei went into the forest blindfolded and without weapons. The hunters ridiculed her. Not even Kibbeling could help them now. Tei returned with 3 fat swine. The hunters were astounded. How could Tei have managed such a bountiful hunt? Awesome. So they've gained the wondrous hunting miracle, which is going to increase their cunning a bunch, and also their might and knowledge. So good for me. And they leveled up and learned a new ability, Prowling Claw, which raises the evade chance for all my allies. So pretty nice. It's kind of like a good support ability. If any of my allies have low armor, raising their evasion could be pretty good. And Morala is a rage prophet who have a notoriously low armor, so it's pretty nice. Oh hey, here's that loser still walking around my holy temple side. Look at you. Let's keep going. Got another disciple slot. Let's inspire... Let's get Ehekatl to start training a little bit. Costs 10 offerings, so I can't have them train and get some XP. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go gather offerings. I have 0 right now, so it would be useful to have some. And there he is, telling people about corn. Hey, my folks are excited, so maybe it's time to head out for the sacrament again. Let's take a look at the challenges ahead. Right, so I can actually go to 3 different locations now. The red village here matches my materials by 50%. The musical valley matches my offerings. And the dark caverns matches my worshippers that I've collected in my tribute. So I've collected a lot more materials right now. So it would be better for me to probably go to the red village here, because I would gain, you know, a bigger benefit. Because they match my tribute. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell one of these folks to gather some materials as well. Then I'll go one more day to get my materials up nice and high, and then I'll go face the red valley. It's so fun, they're bringing resources back and forth. Ooh! It's time for another new mechanic. Prayers. Every once in a while your disciples will now make prayers to you, and they are sort of requests of you because they want to be able to do something for your religion. For example, here we have the ambitious prayer. Morala prays to you. Kibbeling, please, I want to be part of the sacrament. Give me the sign. Morala must take part in a sacrament to feel like their prayer has been answered. And I'll consider it, says Kibbeling. So what that means is Morala is going to have this prayer over here, and the longer I ignore their prayer, the lower their faith will actually get. So you can already see that Morala is of neutral faith. But if I listen to their prayer and answer it, so if I, in this case, send Morala to a sacrament, there's actually she'll actually get a faith boost out of it. So let's go out, and I'll send Morala into the sacrament right now, because I want to answer her prayer. Look how sad she is. Pick me, says Tei. No. I'm gonna send a Hecatl in to get some XP. And I'll send in Tay. Should be okay. I think I can win this. They do have more AP, all points than I do. They've got 40, I only have 30, so I'm gonna have to out-damage them. Now if I went while I was excited, I would have gotten a boost in my all points here. But I don't know that I'll need it. Ooh! I'm scared for Morala is the thing. Their HP is getting pretty low. If a disciple's HP goes to 0, they will gain the broken debuff, which lowers all their stats a little bit until I heal it, so I don't want that to happen is the thing. There we go, got some XP, that's nice. I play games as Prayers and Wishes, awesome, I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, we basically decided on these kinds of systems and mechanics because we wanted to increase not only your sort of connection to your disciples, but also just the amount of challenge. We wanted there to be little problems for you to solve, sort of, these are kind of like mini missions almost. Yeah, we just we want to introduce more problems and challenges for you to overcome while you play Godhood. By sending Morala to the sacrament, you have answered her prayer. She is filled with pride and newfound faith. Well done, Morala. Awesome. Phoenix who says, I got an idea. God powers like there were in Age of Mythology. God powers that you get depending on the kind of religion you decide to get. Funny you should say that, Phoenix. We are working on that exact thing. We won't know if it will be in the next update just yet, but yeah, you can expect God powers that are based on the commandment you've decided to play very soon. I can tell you that I enjoyed the prototype of the Lust Religion power, where you can throw a festival and win back your disciples' enthusiasm. So right now, the only way to get enthusiasm back is by performing the sacrament. If you play a Lust Religion, you can throw a cool party and gain some enthusiasm back that way. Morala is looking really bad here, so I could either choose to not send her on the sacrament for a while or heal her. I'm gonna let Morala go for a little bit. I'll heal her later, but I'm gonna put a pin on that for now. I've got a bunch of materials, but what I really need are offerings. I only have 13, and I want to be able to perform some more difficult rituals, like the training here, for example, and I'm also going to need them to perform miracles. Morala is ready to perform one, but I don't have the offerings required for her to do so. So I'm gonna tell everybody, yeah, I'm gonna tell as many people as I can to go gather offerings, and also turtle hunters, because I'm really close to leveling up. I only need 5 worshippers to level up again, so let's go do that. Hi to the user with the username I can't pronounce in the Steam chat. Let's keep gathering offerings. In fact, what I'm actually gonna do is I will use some of my hard-won materials to upgrade the offerings stockpile so I can collect offerings more efficiently. Spend 20 to collect 1 extra or 40 to collect 2 extra. I'm gonna splurge a little bit and spend 40, I think. Let me see, I could also upgrade the material gathering. So, like, if I can gather materials quicker, that means that I can get more materials and get more upgrades, and it's tempting, but for now I'll upgrade this. Upgrade it by 40. There we go. So now everybody's going to be gathering offerings quite a little bit quicker, which is nice. Let's see how much quicker they do so. Oh, exhausted prayer. Here's another prayer. Tay prays to you, O wise Kibbeling. When the sacrament comes, please allow me to rest. Tay must not take part in the next sacrament to feel like their prayer has been answered. Perhaps. So that's another prayer. For this one, I want to not bring them into the next sacrament, which is kind of a bummer because I was planning on not sending Morala. But now because Tay doesn't want to go, I need to send Morala. Which means that I need to go heal Morala, and the healing ritual takes 2 days, and my people are excited right now. Oh boy, Tay. I'm really disappointed in Tay for misplanning their prayer like that. How could they... I've been free all week and now they call me? Alright, I'm gonna inspire Morala to heal for 2 days. I'm going to gather more offerings and some worshippers. And I'm just gonna have to wait out 2 days, and hopefully my people won't get too impatient with me. Oh god, it's raining too. Everybody's getting wet. Actually, they don't seem to mind so much. Especially this weirdo. He's got natural protection from the rain with the... or whatever. Morala's still healing. Let's collect a little bit more. Yeah, let's go one more day. Hopefully Morala will heal all their HP. They did, nice. So as you can see, my people are now impatient. Every day that they remain impatient, there's a chance for bad events to happen. And I'm just gonna show you one because we're showing stuff off here. We're streaming. We're having fun. So I'm just gonna collect some extra materials. Yeah, some extra materials. Let's see what happens. Oh, we're fine. Of course, the moment that I want things to go wrong, they don't. Anytime that I'm playing by myself, on my own time, this is definitely not the case. I'm gonna go another day. I'm gonna tempt fate here. Ah, there we go. The turtle hunters talk in hushed tones. It's been so long since Kibbeling showed the sacrament sign. Ehekatl reassures them of your might, but you feel a growing doubt in his heart. They will understand soon enough. So Ehekatl has gained the doubt, well, we call it a buff, but it's really a debuff, which lowers their faith significantly. Oh no! As you can see, the doubt debuff can be removed at the commuting grounds, a building that we haven't constructed yet. And also, the people are now doubting. They say Kibbeling has left us. Do a sacrament to prove them wrong. As long as people are doubting, really very bad things can actually happen. So I should probably go do a sacrament before something really bad happens. Nick Main asks, what do offerings do again? So out of the 3 resources in the game, your worshippers level you up, your materials upgrade and build buildings, and offerings are the thing that you spent to tell your disciples to do stuff. So if I want to have Morala perform a miracle, it's going to cost me 25 offerings, for example. So anytime that I tell my disciples to do something that is pretty difficult or special, it's going to cost offerings. Good question. I'm going to travel to the Musical Valley because they're going to match my offering tribute by 50%. So I'm in it to win it and get a bunch of offerings. Tay doesn't want to go, so I'm going to leave Tay home. Send in Morala. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Morala is an ancestral disciple. As you can see here, this godless songsmith is a life disciple, which means they are weak against ancestral, but strong against dark. Sadly, Ezel here is dark. I'm gonna have to send them in because, again, Tei really doesn't feel like it. Tei's tired, you know, they've been working their butts off in the sacraments. So we're just gonna have to hope this goes well. Let's see how we're doing. War Reaper. Yeah, Marala and Ezel are just my big heavy hitters, and I love them. Pretty good. I was expecting Marala to maybe take a bit more damage, but can Godhood finish it? No. You need to level up, my friend. Oh my god! Oh no! Song of Praise actually healed their AP and dealt me a ton of damage because Ezel is weak against life abilities. Alright, lucky. I still got it. I was a little scared there for a second. I would have lost a bunch of my resources. Godhood's level up. Let's see, they've got the Crow Totem, good for knowledge, and it just so happens that the Weaver benefits from knowledge, so I think I'm just gonna have them be a Weaver. A Weaver's also really useful to have, because they allow me to cloud my opponent's minds and mess with the abilities that they do. By allowing Tei to rest from the sacraments, you have answered her prayer. She is filled with energy and newfound faith. Nice. And there we go. We've earned our worshippers. I'll level up. Got our offerings and our materials. We're super close to leveling up again, so let's get that train rolling. Level 5. There are currently, I'm not going to count all these. I forget exactly how many level ups. I want to say like 20? Something like that? Way more than the previous version. We can dedicate a statue, and I've increased my worshipper support. I should actually take a look at worshipper support because I should be able to actually initiate that really powerful disciple that we saw earlier, but we couldn't bring in, Nox. I can now initiate them. Alright, we got a choice here. Nox is really good actually. Good health, good might because of Bull, and a chance to follow up an ally's nature abilities. So if any ally performs a nature ability, Nox can jump in and do like a 1-2 combo with them. And Tei actually is a Beastwalker who is a nature class that uses nature abilities. So Nox and Tei could actually be like a cool combo. So now the question is, am I gonna drop someone for Nox? What do we think, chat? Do we feel like someone has to get thrown out of our religion? Well, we're not gonna throw them out of our religion. We're gonna send them off to basically gather resources for us in the Outer Lands. We only have 4 slots, right? So I'm thinking maybe Marala or Ehekatl has to go. I would really love some a word here on the chat. All you strategists out there. Do we think we should keep our disciples who are leveled up? Or do we think we should drop one to take on a really promising young one? Yasashi says she'd be a good rage prophet. I think she would be actually. Maybe a better one than Marala. Blackfishin is saying get some religion levels to unlock another slot, and that way I can have them both. Let's actually see what I'm getting next religion level. Ah, my next religion level does give me another slot, so my goal is to level up, and then I can get both of them. So good catch there, Blackfishin. Marala took a bunch of damage again. Gosh darn, I think I need to protect her health. We're about an hour into our stream here. Let me actually take a look at some of the other features that we haven't talked about yet. We've talked about worshipper enthusiasm, keeping your flock happy. We've talked about the tribute mechanic, as we've been exploiting here and there in order to get a bunch of resources at once. We talked about construction. We can now build our own buildings at any time. And we've looked at only a small amount of the new buildings. But you know, we've seen some stuff. I would actually love to be able to show you the War Colosseum, but it's going to require me to keep playing for a little bit. So we'll see if we can get there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we actually updated in this build that isn't in our little graph that I made here. I recommend you go over to community.abbeygames.com and look at the post on the Will of the People, or go in-game and click the little Will of the People widget on the bottom right, and you can get a much bigger list, including a full list of patch notes on stuff that's changed. We have done a whole bunch of balancing tweaks and changes, a whole bunch of bug and crash fixes. We took out some like weird mechanics that didn't quite work and replaced them with new ones. On the world map, a bunch of new rebalances have happened. The final island has been completely overhauled. It used to be a whole bunch of nature encounters, but it's much more varied now, so it should be a lot more possible for different kinds of religions, and not just religions focusing on nature disciples like a lust religion, or focusing on divine disciples like a chastity religion, and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's like honestly way more than I can tell here. I'm gonna dedicate a statue to my little hunting miracle. And let's see, I'm a jellyfish, so I'm gonna call water. Oh, we also added a couple of new statues here. We've got a cool spider, got a monkey, sweet leaf. So, some neat stuff. Oh, important, the banana of war. In fact, I'm gonna inspire the banana of war, because why wouldn't I? It's the friggin' banana of war. And if something screams war, it's definitely bananas. So I have a bunch of offerings. I'm gonna tell... the Fluit and the Kluipert in chat asks, I came across an ability increasing peaceful skills. Does that mean all non-violent skills? I think it specifically means skills that have the kind tag. If you can see, like, different abilities have different tags. For example, War Reaper has categories violent, so all abilities that have kind will probably benefit that item. Now, what's kind of an interesting side effect of all the new mechanics we've built is that the game actually also takes longer to play, because there's simply you're making more choices and performing more upgrades and things. So we've actually increased the length of the main campaign quite a bit already. I'm gonna tell Godhood to perform that miracle. It's not great for him, but at least it'll unlock some of their new abilities, which is nice. One Yashi asks, who's the disciple with the staff? That is the Weaver. Weavers are sort of spirit caller, sleeper, sort of magician class almost, and they're really good at dealing lots of morale damage and messing with your opponent's mind with, for example, the Mind Fog ability, which dazes the mind of the opponent, meaning that they can't cast certain abilities. Instead, they'll just be dazed and waste their turn. So pretty useful stuff, especially against opponents that have particularly powerful abilities. Nope, didn't want you to do that. I want you to go gather some turtle hunters. You as well, Tay. Let's go level up. Nice, Ehekato also got the Wondrous Hunting Miracle. Good for them. +3 cunning and might, and a little bit of knowledge gain, so that's pretty good actually. You know, they use knowledge. Also charisma as well. Let's do another battle here, and then well, we're excited, so that seems like as good a time as any. I'm gonna leave Marala behind for this one. So I'll tell her to go gather some offerings. And then the rest is gonna go perform the sacraments. Get some... Well, this is no good to me right now because they match 50% of my offerings and I'm not bringing any. So a note with material would be best, but there aren't any, it appears. Let's see, can I take on these weavers? So as you can see, I have 52 AP. That's because my people are excited right now. So I got a bunch of bonus AP, which is nice. Weak versus life versus nature. So Tay would be a bad pick here. So maybe I will send Marala in actually. This could go bad. But I'm gonna try it anyway. Let's go ham. McMain asks, what does the war banana statue do? Yeah, I went through that pretty quickly because in previous streams we have gone over that stuff in a bit more detail. The war banana is a dedication, a statue that you can put on one of your miracles in order to increase the power, oh Marala, of that miracle. Because it is a war banana, it means that any disciples that perform the miracle that I put it on, in this case the hunter, will gain more war-like statistics. So, oh boy, there goes Marala. In this case, they will gain might and cunning, I believe. Oh, he still won, so that's good. And it only cost us Marala. E-cells level up, ready to perform a miracle as well. That's good. McMain asks, how can you get more slots? Hey, level up. Good stuff. You specifically get more slots by leveling up. I think I'm gonna do that right now, in fact. Disciple slot increased to 5. My religion can now support one more disciple. Pretty neat. Next level I'll gain the Temple of War, because I'm a war god. As you can see here, Marala has got the broken debuff, which is new for this version. They get -10 on all their stats. I can actually heal this and remove it at the Communing Grounds, a building that I haven't unlocked just yet. But I might unlock real soon. Maybe we should put that a little bit earlier in the game, now that I'm playing this here. But you know, if you have any feedback while you're playing the Will of the People update version of Godhood, we love all feedback. It's super useful and it led to a bunch of the improvements that we're making in this update here right now. So you can go to community.abbeygames.com or hop over to the Steam forums and leave your feedback, suggestions, thoughts, and we will get to them. We'll definitely answer you, and probably if it's good feedback, and my guess is it will be, we'll take it into account. I'm going to heal Marala's HP and gather some more followers. War Nana would have been a very good name for the Banana of War. Black Vision. If you're just tuning into the stream, hi, thanks for hanging out. We're playing Godhood here a little bit. Specifically the new Will of the People update. The latest update in our early access for Godhood. It's the first major update as well, in which we introduce a bunch of new features, content, and stuff for you to play with and build your religion with. I hope you check it out if you own the game. And if you don't, I hope you'll consider wishlisting Godhood on Steam or Good Old Games and helping support us the early access and support the continuing development of Godhood. Let's see. Got people collecting worshippers. I think I'm good for that. Good on that for now. Could build another miracle. I'm actually gonna build me some farmlands to increase my might. Let's put the farms over here. And then I'll tell Izel, who is miracle ready, to go perform the farm miracle. And hey, Hecatl, why don't you go gather some offerings? How about some worshippers, and we'll max out my turtle hunter bar here. Can only gather 30 so far. Now I can actually upgrade my the different buildings in my temple sites to increase that limit. For example, I could upgrade the offering stockpile to increase the maximum tribute for ritual offerings by 10. Pretty useful stuff if I really wanted to max that out. Let's go one more. And have Izel complete their miracle. A terrible drought put the harvest in danger. Izel performed a rain dance all night to please Kibbeling and bring water from the skies. Kibbeling listened to this humble plea. The rain was plentiful and saved the harvest. Nice, a good miracle, Izel. Increases might, devotion and health. Good stuff. Also, War Reaper. Already learned that ability once before, but now I've got it twice, so there's a bigger chance that Izel is going to perform that in combat. Give you even more might. What do you think, Yoni? Should I cheat a little bit to skip ahead some levels? Should I cheat a little bit to skip ahead some levels and maybe show off some of the other new content that is in some of the later levels of Godhood? Sounds good? Cool. Let's do it. Hold on to your butts, gang. We're going into the debug menu. Don't be afraid. This horrible UI is only for us developers. And I'm going to be using it to level up. Don't tell anybody. This is between you and me. Yeah, so if you level up, you do sometimes increase your maximum tribute as well. Pretty cool. Got the Temple of War, which if you've played Godhood before or seen any previous streams, you'll remember the Temple of War. It is an extremely potent miracle that only war religions get. Pretty good stuff. I'm gonna level up more. There we go. Let's take a look at some of the new things here. Yeah, we've unlocked one of the new buildings, the communing ground. I've mentioned it before. It's like a really useful building. I'm gonna give myself some resources. Boom! I can build whatever I want now. Extremely useful building that can actually allow you to remove debilitating debuffs from your disciples, such as Broken Faith. So I'll put it over here, and I can actually tell Marala here, who's got the Broken Faith debuff, tell them to go over there, and in 2 days they will actually heal away that debuff. Oh no, my people are doubting. Not good. Not good at all. Oh no, now Izel is doubting too. Everybody's getting doubting debuffs. Also, Izel's getting old. Everything's falling apart. The moment I start cheating, I think it's karma. So yeah, as you can see, Marala, their broken debuff is now gone actually. But because I've been waiting and my people are impatient, you know, they're still not that excited about my religion. Let's keep leveling up just a little bit. I want to show you guys the Colosseum. So that's a pretty fun one. And I think it will fit our cool jellyfish wargod. Oh, we unlocked the pledging altar and another new building, which we can use to up our disciples' faith. If you remember, the new disciples will start with the enthusiasm faith buff, as you can see here. Ehekatl still has it because they are my newest disciple. If I send them over to the pledging ground, they will actually sort of make a pledge to me, to Kibbeling, and that way they will gain their enthusiasm buff again. So it's a good way, if someone is particularly low faith, it's a good way to get them up on their faith again. But it does cost 25 offerings, so it's not cheap. So let's level up, I think 2 more times, and then we'll have the Colosseum. Can dedicate another statue, make some more bananas maybe. Sunstone. Sunstone is, if you've played Godhood, a place for your disciples to learn specific abilities. If you really want to teach Morala how to perform, I don't know, like ancestral force, for example, you could send them there and she will learn specifically that ability. I'm getting some sun here. Got the setting sun coming into our office. Aha, the Colosseum! Fun! So, this is one of the 4 new commandment buildings. Every new commandment, or every commandment has gained 1 new building. For war, it is the Colosseum. Let's go build it. Train to gain the physical combo passive ability for 1 mission only. So, over here, I can send my disciples over here to get this passive ability, which actually gives them the physical combo, a chance to follow up any ally's physical damage ability. So if I am a wargod and I have a whole party of physical hitters, the Colosseum can actually be really useful, because I can use that to have my guys combo off of each other really effectively. However, if your disciples are low faith, there is a chance that they get injured in the Colosseum. I've just sent Isel and Morala in here, and let's see if they get up in a little, see if they injure themselves here. Training. Hope not. Oh god. Ah, we're lucky. So they both gained the physical combo buff, and neither of them got injured. So that's good stuff. Yeah, and this is just one of the new commandment buildings. If we take a look over here, we can take a sneak peek. We also have the Forum, which is the peace building, the Bordello, which is the lust building, and the bathhouse, which is the chastity building. The bathhouse is a really cool, powerful healing building. The Bordello allows your worshippers to gather worshippers at an astounding rate, but it'll make them very tired for whatever reason. And the Forum is a place that you can actually lower the cooldown on your summon initiates ability, so you can gather more new disciples quicker if you are a peace religion. I hope you guys have fun playing with them and unlocking them and testing them out and seeing, talking about which you think are the best. Definitely play the game a bunch. Let us know how you feel. I think I'm going to start winding down the stream here. To be completely honest, all of today we have been planning and working on new stuff for Godhood. We have launched the Will of the People, our first major update for Godhood today, and we are already careening right into the next one, which is, got a little teaser here, the Old One Rising update. It's going to launch September 4th, and on August 21st you can check into our community forums to learn the dark wisdoms of madness, and we'll get into a bit more detail about all the new stuff that we're introducing in that particular update. So for now, I really hope that you'll enjoy playing around with all the new Will of the People update goodies. We think Godhood has gotten a lot better as a game, more challenging, more strategic, and generally a lot more fun and pressing as well. Play around with the difficulty options, maximize your holy tributes, be sure to keep your flock happy and keep their enthusiasm up. Try to build as many of the new buildings that are in the game, and generally just have yourself a good old time with Godhood and the Will of the People update. For now, I think I'm gonna start heading off here. You can check back in for another stream sometime soon, in which we'll probably be previewing the next update, Old One Rising. So look forward to that. Subscribe to our Twitch channel if you want to get a notification when we go online. Check out our YouTube if you are just seeing the game for the first time. You can see archives of all the previous streams we've done if you want to check out some more gameplay to make your decision if you want to choose to support the early access before buying it. Totally get that. If you do decide to support us, thank you so much. If you own Godhood and you've given us your feedback and maybe left us a review on Steam, thank you so much for that as well. It has really helped us inform how to fill in this Will of the People update that we're releasing today. I hope that it addresses some of the feedback that you gave. If there's still stuff that you'd love to see in Godhood, specific gods you want to play, commandments you'd like to see, let us know over on community.abbeygames.com, our official community forums, or over on the Steam forums on the Godhood store page. There's a little tab, Community Hub. Get in there. All the developers are super active on those channels. You can also check out the Abbey Games Discord channel as well. The developers are in there a bunch too, and we've got a really nice community of very hardcore, dedicated Abbey Games gamers who are no doubt already trying to tear apart the impossible difficulty on Godhood. I hope they are anyway. I think it's quite challenging, so we'll see how that is. For now, thanks for checking in on this stream for the Will of the People updates. See you on the next one sometime soon, where we check out Old One Rising, and we're gonna keep updating Godhood from there. The early access will rage on, and so will we as we keep developing, streaming, and hanging out with you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm Rick. I was here with Yoni. He's waving. And we're gonna go home, sleep, so that tomorrow morning we can get back on the grind of developing Godhood, Old One Rising, and fixing any bugs or crashes that were left in Will of the People. Let us know if you find any. For now, check out the updates. Have a good night, and peace.